Okay, we're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. It is 6:02. And because our chairman, Scott Gaither, could not make it tonight, we will need to appoint a chairman pro tem. So I'll need a motion and a vote on that from the board.
I make a motion that we, Valerie.
So. I guess all in favor.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, well, that means that I get to be your MC for the evening. Okay, we do have several things on the agenda tonight. First thing being noting who's here, which I'm assuming Ashley's already done. And then minutes acceptance. I assume that probably everybody but me has had a chance to go over those. And does anybody see anything that needs to be amended or changed? Okay, if not, I will entertain a motion to record them as written.
I make a motion that we receive the minutes as written without any changes or special reading.
So, all in favor? Motion is unanimous. Okay, now we're going to move into public hearings, and we have 3 of those this evening. The first one being a rezone, and I'm hoping that Ashley can tell us about that.
I most certainly can. So this rezone is kind of a unique one. The City of Social Circle is actually initiating this rezone on behalf of all the property owners. And we are requesting a rezone from residential medium density to residential 15 on the tax parcels listed on the agenda and in y'all's packets. The reason that the city is spearheading this rezone and initiating this rezone is because with the passing of the Unified Development Code back in the summer, we rendered some of these substandard lots basically unbuildable and unusable because they wouldn't be allowed to build single-family homes on R&D lots anymore. So the city took it upon ourselves to waive the fees and bring these before Planning Commission and Mayor and Council in order for these property owners with vacant lots to be able to build single-family homes even if their lot is substandard by the UDC standards. We wanted it still, this lot of record, to be usable and buildable. Most of these lots are kind of, for this rezone, they're kind of scattered around. We have a couple that are off, one fronts on North Dogwood, one fronts on Poplar. We have a cluster of them off of Annie P and Boxwood. There's 5 there, and then there's one off of Jones Drive, one off of Holly Street, and I think there's 2 more to the north of off of Oak Drive.
And none of them currently have anything.
And all of them are vacant. We only reached out to property owners who had vacant property, and we only are requesting a rezone if we have permission from the property owner. So in your packets, you should see letters from all the property owners with their signatures stating that we have permission to rezone their property, because we weren't going to rezone property without permission from a property owner.
And in each letter it does say which piece of property we're referring to, like what street.
Correct. It has a tax parcel ID. So most of these properties don't have addresses because there's not a house on it. So it has a tax parcel ID because the tax parcel ID won't ever change. So that was the easiest way for us to do it and make sure we got the correct properties rezoned.
Okay. So, does anybody have any questions for Ashley? So we'll move into public hearings, and that means that both for and against, and I'm assuming that we don't need to ask the presenter since that's you tonight.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was my spiel.
Both for and against, if anybody has anything to say about those things, the for side will get 10 minutes total, the against side will get 10 minutes total. No one is signed up, but does anyone have anything to say about the rezone that is for the rezone? Okay, if you'll step up, let me set my.
Hi, my name is Angela Porter. I reside at 338 Boxwood Street. I'm not either for or against. My question is, the R15 single family, does it include duplexing?
It does not.
So these are homes,
Single
not
family detached, yes.
Single family detached.
detached. That was my question.
Okay.
Oh, and one more, I'm sorry. On Boxwood, there's only one sign. How many homes are expected to be built on Boxwood at that lot?
I am not 100% sure, but we only allow for one home per parcel, and each parcel can only be 15,000 square feet.
Yeah, I got that, but it's like 4 or 5 signs on the front on Annie P. Henderson in front of the primary school, and there's only one sign on Boxwood, and I'm trying to figure out how many homes are gonna go in that spot.
If the tax parcels stay the way they are, one.
One, okay, thank you.
Because it's only one, I think they put up one sign per tax parcel, don't they?
I think probably.
One's
not
actually
sure.
falling down in front of the primary school, so I don't know if it's to be
I
there
think
or
there's
not.
3 right there. 3
Well, it was 4.
Okay.
Was a total of 4, and then
Okay.
one is down,
I think
and
that's
there's
right.
one on Boxwood. So
Okay.
that's why I said I wasn't either for or against, I was just making sure that it was not duplex.
Perfect.
Thank you.
May I have your address again?
Oh, wow, 338 Boxwood,
Okay.
338 Boxwood, okay.
Does anybody else want to speak for the reason? Would anyone like to speak against the reason? Okay, seeing none, that public hearing still has 8 minutes, 35 seconds. I will close the public hearing and see if any of you guys have questions or discussion.
I mean, you have letters here from the owners stating that they want, it's okay for them to change it, so.
Sorry, I couldn't understand. I didn't understand his question.
Oh, he just said we do have letters from the property owners stating that they are for the reason. I do have a quick question. So the other homes in that area that are already built, are they gonna stay RM, were they RMD to begin with? Are they gonna stay RMD?
So this is just a crash course in zoning for everybody here. They will remain RMD as an existing non-conforming use.
Okay.
So they can,
It's
they
just
can
ones
still
that need to
have
be
their,
built.
yeah. So any new development has to abide by the Unified Development Code. So all these vacant lots were kind of rendered,
Grandfather in, kind of.
yeah, so we wanted them to be able to use the lot even if it was vacant. And the best way to use these lots, based on our future land use map, was for single-family homes.
Okay, okay, thank you. Does anybody else have additional questions? If not, our motion choices are to approve with conditions, recommend declining, table, or take no action as an option.
Make a motion to approve it the way it is.
I second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion is unanimous. Okay. The second item we have for business tonight is a variance. So City of Social Circle, on behalf of Trinity Farm Holdings, requesting a variance. Ashley, tell us about that. Please, baby.
Yes. So, once again, the city initiated this because of the changes in the UDC and trying to make it easier on some of these vacant property owners. For one of these property owners, they were, they already had plans in place, and those plans didn't abide by the 1,600 square foot rule that is required by the Unified Development Code. So in conjunction with the rezone to R15, which was just recommended by you guys, these two tax parcels were a part of that group of tax parcels. They wanted to also get a variance to build a 1,000 square foot house instead of a 1,600 square foot house. And the city felt that that was a reasonable request because of the like nature of the other houses within the area, because this is in the Mill Village off of Cherry Way.
Okay, so we will begin our public hearing by asking if there's anybody that would like to speak for this variance.
I am Debbie Connor Smith, 638 South Cherokee Road. And the reason we're asking for the variance on these two lots is because it's right in the middle of, it's on Cedar and Cherry Way in the Cotton Mill Village. And if everybody knows the Cotton Mill Village, but you know where those houses are. And they're about 1,000 square feet, some of them are 800 square feet. And it would ruin the historic district to go in there and try to put something that is non-conforming to that area. But the house plans that the builder has picked out are very similar to what's there and will certainly help that street and make the street look more uniform.
Does anybody else have anything to say for this variance? Does anybody have anything to say against the variance? Seeing none, we will close the public hearing. Does anybody have questions or discussion on our variance?
Question is, they're considered, that this is towns. Is this sort of like a tiny house?
Well, I think technically a tiny house is 400 square feet or less,
Okay.
but 1,000 square feet. I don't think that picture is an actual picture, but there is or was.
There should be 2 floor plans within your
Yes.
packet.
Right, that we have. Is there? I do have a question, Ashley, for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Are there's only a variance on the square footage and not on any of the setbacks?
Correct. So in the letter, it does ask for a 5-foot setback, but under R15 zoning, we have the ability to administratively approve setbacks based on substandard lots. We just don't have the ability to administratively approve reducing square footage. So that's why the variance is only for the square footage and not the setback. The setback can be done administratively.
No, I have a really hard time with these because they're so little. Okay. Anybody have any other thoughts?
And the side setback for R15 is only 5 feet anyways,
The side setback.
which is, I think, what they were asking for variance on, is the side setback for R.
Yeah, I can't. Says the code does have provisions for single-family detached homes that are being built on substandard lots. These standards cannot apply if single-family detached homes are not permitted uses on the property.
Yeah, so we, under section 3.1B, we do have provisions to allow for a change in the maximum impervious surface ratio and lot frontage. And we also have the ability to change this front setback and the side and rear setback, but in order to get a square footage that's less than 1,600 square feet, it has to go through the variance process. It can't go administratively. And that's all based on how, like, the percentage that the lot is a deficient record.
Okay.
And we have like maximums and minimums that we can't go past. Like, we can't go past 5 feet on a side and rear setback because fire separation.
And all of our other building codes still come into play as far as materials and
Yes,
roof pitch.
Yes.
All of those things.
yes, all of those lovely architectural standards that we went
Architectural
over.
standards.
Yeah.
There is nothing on this schematic about parking. Is it driveway or is it street?
That will
Because there
be,
does not appear to be.
yeah, that, they're asking for the variance on the house size, but they haven't gotten that far to decide about the driveway. I will say the UDC does encourage shared driveways, so that might be a solution to that. We also have to take into consideration driveway separation and all that kind of stuff, so that kind of gets in the weeds. But if you wanted to table this pending that's an option, but that's up to you guys. It would have to
For a
follow.
more complete site plan.
Yeah, you could do that. It does have to follow all the provisions of the UDC, which includes driveway standards and stuff like that.
Sorry, I feel like I'm doing a lot of talking about myself, which might not be different from any other company. Okay. Does anybody else have thoughts? Again, our options are approve with conditions, recommend declining, and we are recommending body only, and we'll table pending more information.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
Dolphus, were you the second on that?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry, we didn't hear.
But motion passes.
Okay, I'm sorry, we just didn't hear.
And I said one other thing, there is curb cuts already on both of these lots. There was a house on one lot that burned down, so there's a curb cut there and a curb cut on the other lot, so.
Third order of business is another rezone from RMD, which is what the other ones were, to R25 on a single tax parcel. Does anybody, or Ashley can present that first?
Yeah, so this is kind of the same deal as the RMD to the R15, but this lot was one of the only ones that was large enough that could be rezoned to R25 instead of R15. So the setbacks are a little bit bigger, just by 5 or 10 feet, but this would allow for this person to build a single-family home or market it for a single-family home, or however they wanted to pursue this, and the city's initiating, staff recommends approval. This is just one lot, and I believe it is off of, my slideshow. It is off of Oak Drive.
And that's right behind downtown. Okay. Okay. Does anybody want to speak for this reason? Would anybody like to speak against this particular reason?
I have a question.
Yeah, you do. Sorry.
Angela Porter again. Again, I have no objection, or I'm not against or for it. I have one question, and that is this gonna be one home, or is it gonna be multiple, maybe possibly two, R25s? I know it's larger. What's the, measurements over there for the R25?
Is 25,000 square feet.
Mm.
So this one I think is 27, if I remember correctly, off the top of my head. So it wouldn't be able to be subdivided without, it couldn't be subdivided.
It could or could not?
Could not,
So
because,
it's one home,
yes.
and this also backs the back of my property. That's why I had that question. Just one home, R25, and I know it's gonna be a larger size home. And the RFD. Another thing, coming from a former council member, we had established that there would not be any spot zonings. Has that changed?
No, that hasn't changed. That's in our UDC too. It talks about that at the very beginning. That's one of the very first things it says.
Okay, all right, that's fine. No, I'm not opposing. I just wanted to ask that question.
Yeah, I think it's just, they have to ask for the different zoning because it doesn't fall into R50.
Correct.
Yeah, it's just a bigger lot.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else have any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, we will close the public hearing. And thoughts or questions from the group?
Make a motion to approve it.
I second the motion.
All in favor? And that also passes unanimously.
And just a reminder, our next meeting is on a Wednesday, and it is Wednesday, the 27th of December. So that is the Wednesday after Christmas.
Does that fall under unfinished business?
Sorry, I just wanted, it doesn't, but do we have unfinished business?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe that's new business.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I don't have any unfinished business. Does anybody else have any? No new business?
Our meeting is gonna be December 27th.
We will entertain a motion to adjourn. Okay, all in favor? Also passes. Good night.